Bar for Bar album reviews. Champ Green, Agape Elephant in the Room. Agape Elephant in the Room is the Christmas present you didn't know you wanted from Champ Green. This album follows his previous projects, 6-piece Beats, Rhymes, and Life, the art of storytelling, and Pleasantly Plump with DJ Twelvz, as well as his contributions to the Grand Nationxl albums and projects. This album comes in at a total runtime of 12 minutes with 8 tracks, so it's definitely a quick listen. The title of this project is To Show the Love that Champ brings. This love may be ignored or not paid attention to, but everyone knows it's there, just like the elephant in the room. And it's not necessarily just Champ's love, but just the love in general in whatever room you happen to be in. This love and feeling of the elephant in the room is displayed pretty well throughout the project, where Champ's really just dropping gems of knowledge for you, but does it in a way that isn't too over the top to where it's beating you over the head with it. It's also showing a lot of love and, just trying to teach people. I also had the pleasure and opportunity to talk to Champ about this project, so for a more in-depth conversation about it, be sure to check out this week's podcast. The love begins with the track Patient Love featuring Jane Hancock. This song is about relationships, especially new ones where you're trying to really start to understand each other. Sometimes people come with their own baggage or personal issues, and to help the relationship thrive and grow, you need to be patient. That patience goes both ways, obviously, but it's still very important to have. I also really do like the abrupt cut near the end of the track, which was apparently left in from the recording session, like where his homie was outside the booth talking, and he's like, "Hey, Blow, what you saying?" It's just funny, and it makes it feel more real to me. Next, we have Grand Champion Roots featuring Ian Kelly. Ian starts off the track by bringing up these things around him that really acted as motivation for him, like seeing bullet casings. But he also goes into really pushing himself forward to achieve his goals, because the pressure that's been applied has created a diamond that people need to see. Champ's verse at first sounded a bit like word association, which, I guess it kind of is, but it's got more of a flow to it, and he's trying to tell you something. What I got from it is that it's a bit of a continuation of Ian's verse, in the sense that you got to keep it moving no matter where you're going. The more you push yourself, the higher you can reach, because eventually, even now, the sky's the limit. Idiot Box is a fun track with a really fun video, actually. The track is full of references to TV shows and movies, which eventually leads to the internet and how everything's kind of related in that entertainment sort of realm. The track to me is about acknowledging that sometimes we invest a bit more into these sources of entertainment than we do in our own personal lives and relationships. We have to remember to keep that drama on TV. Like, it happens on TV and it should stay on TV. Like, don't let it interfere with what's going on outside of that. It also touches on a bit how you personally can be perceived based on a singular incident, like going viral. Oftentimes, when people go viral, that's like just a singular incident that has nothing to do with them. So everyone now just knows you for that particular incident, whereas that's not your life. This then goes into Mountain Spring Water with Black Achilles. This track was apparently inspired by Black Achilles, who, goes on camping trips fairly often, it seems, and just trips in general. Just being able to go out into the world and explore and just step away from everything for a little bit. The biggest takeaway here is the line, "Golden state of mind, so you shine from within," which is really meant to inspire and remind you that you are the one who's in control of your own life. If you want to shine, it's going to have to come from within you first. Black Achilles really goes into the relaxation and enjoyment of the trip, but also it feels more spiritual in a way. Being out in nature and reconnecting with everything around you can bring you peace, which is definitely always appreciated. The title also makes a lot of sense, because when you go on a trip, you typically come back refreshed, as if you just drank the most amazing water. We then get into Rhythmically Teaching, which is the first of 4 tracks that were originally compiled on Seed 15. This track touches on the idea that everything that happens around us and all of our experiences are teaching us something. We're constantly learning from what's going on, but because it's usually subconscious, we don't really recognize it right away. When talking about this track, Champ brought up the point that there's a lot of systems in place to kind of keep things in order, and people in a certain sort of box. There are things that we are just kind of expected to do, like go to college and then have a typical 9 to 5. This track really is meant to teach awareness of what's going on in life and around us. The end of the track also touches on how, as we get older, we start to get gray hairs and we're almost expected to have a bunch of knowledge and wisdom. But sometimes, we just can't sleep right still because of that wisdom. It's like we're starting to realize what's going on around us a little later in life, and that really just messes with us and keeps us up at night. This track then flows really well into the next one, Jeff Spicoli, because the previous track ended good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This title itself takes inspiration from Jeff Spicoli, who was a character from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's pretty funny because the title itself is so different from everything else that we've seen on the album so far, so it threw me off originally. The song itself is about a relationship with someone that can be a bit draining for you personally, or it might not be the best for you. However, this could be applied to a lot of things in life. Like we discussed on the podcast, there's a lot of things that may be fun or you may enjoy, but they're not necessarily the best for you long term. Sometimes you have to remind yourself to keep things in moderation. The album begins to wrap up with the track Clarity Photography. This track acts as a really solid follow-up to Jeff Spicoli because now you're just kind of done with that sort of life and you're starting to see a clearer picture of yourself due to self-love. It also touches on a bit about community and sharing with people you care about. Obviously, there's going to be some level of competition in life and with people around you, but it doesn't have to be hostile. It's always, friendly competition always brings out the best in people. There are levels to competition where you're really just trying to push other people to be better. Champ puts it well with the line, "It feels good to do business with your friends." And this doesn't specifically have to be about business, like getting money and stuff. It's just, helping each other and growing together. The final track on this project is Words for Friends. This track is a really good outro for the album because of the vocal effect, I feel. It makes it sound like it's almost like a voicemail. So it's like, Champ just called you up and here's this message for you. It also is really nice because it's just very wholesome and it's, just trying to uplift you. This track to me is really just Champ, like I said, talking to his friends, but also the listener to show them and to remind them that we're all on the highway of life and we're working towards our own end goals. But get some help along the way, help others out, everyone's in this together. Overall, this project was really good. The fact that it's only 12 minutes long is great, especially for new listeners, because it gives you a pretty quick insight into what Champ's about. This project is just so wholesome and does really well to uplift. There's definitely something here for everyone, even if it's not immediately obvious, like on the track Grand Champion Roots. There are gems of knowledge throughout, and I highly recommend people check it out. My favorite tracks are Idiot Box, Mountain Spring Water, Jeff Spicoli, Patient Love, and Rhythmically Teaching. I'm really excited to hear what's coming next from Champ. He's mentioned that there will be a Pleasantly Plump 2 coming next year, so be on the lookout for that one. Regardless, if you haven't checked out this project, I definitely urge you to do so, as well as all the other Grand Nationxl projects that have released this year if you somehow missed them. With all that said, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this project and what your favorite tracks are. Also remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more content and reviews like this one. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.